Hey guys, this is Orbit here, and one question that I've been getting a lot lately, especially, is Orbit, what is your stats? Okay, what stats have you guys got? Okay, so I'm gonna tell you my stats. Now obviously there isn't. I've just got some stats, and then that's me through whatever I'm doing. So I'm gonna go through my DPS, PVP, and PVE stats, and my tank PVE and PVP stats, because obviously your stats will change no matter, depending on what gear you have, okay? But don't for 1 second, guys, think as soon as you guys get to this stats, all of a sudden you're going to be throwing out wild damage. It just depends on you as a person, that's what it boils down to, what gear you have on, your stats, skill points. The main thing is you as a player, how good you guys are as a player. But anyway, let's go through my stats. This is my DPS PVE stats to begin with, okay? PVE DPS stats. Health is 3,750. Okay, you can kind of compare this to your own character that you have, okay? My health is 3,750, my power is 1,690, my defense is 2,558, sometimes this will be 2,608, depending whether I spec into the defense trait on the iconics tree. I haven't for this the loadout I'm using at the moment, but sometimes that'll go up a little bit more. There's my defense. My might is 1672. That's quite low for a top level DPS, but I make up for it in my precision, which we'll get to in a minute. My restoration 755, vitalization 84, precision 815, toughness 150. Your toughness only applies in PvP. Okay, so if this is low, if your toughness is 0, it doesn't matter. Okay, if your toughness is 0 and you're going into PvP, it does matter. It matters a lot, and you will die. Dominance 137 and combat rating is 89. So these are my stats for PvE, my DPS stats. Okay, this is what I'm using at the moment. No buffs, as you can see in the top left hand corner. That's that. Right, so now I have stuck my PvP gear on. Same DPS still, but I've put my PvP gear on, so let's have a look and see how my stats have changed. Okay, here we are. Okay, so 6,478 health. So, as you notice, my health is massively increased, okay? The PvP gear has a lot more health on it. Okay, so those of you who are going into PvP with your PvE gear on, player versus environment gear, by the way, in case you didn't know, into player versus player stuff, you're gonna have, hardly any health, okay, and your toughness will be very low, and as you can see, that's had a massive jump up as well. That's now 1,459. If you were to put rings on, that would go up even further. Okay, so let's go through. Health 6,478, power 1,487, defense 150. Okay, notice the defense and toughness have kind of swapped around now. Okay, toughness is for PvP, defense for PvE. You do not need defense for PvP. You do not need toughness for PvE. Okay, so that's why that's low. Might 1477. Restoration 755 again, that hasn't changed. Vit 84, that hasn't changed. This is the kind of base stats that you'll get from your skill points. Okay. 597 precision, toughness 1459, dominance 137, combat rating 89. Now, one thing you need to know, guys, about your precision. Okay, precision is the damage you're doing with your weapon. Okay, when you go into an instance, when you enter an arena. This will automatically go up if you have a PvP weapon. Okay, you know the difference between PvP and PvE gear because PvP has toughness on. So, you know, here's my shoulders, right? The top stat is 155 toughness. Okay, if I go to my PvE shoulders, which will be down here, I know it's a mess, 311 defense. Okay, so like I just said, defense for PvE. Okay, and here is a PvP weapon, guys. You know it's PvP because it's got 56 toughness on. Now if you look right the way down at the bottom, power affinity adds 352 precision to inflict 131.1 DPS when used against enemy players. So that could be duels, whatever, but when you're in arena, bang, you're going to get a plus 352 precision. So my stat would then be, I'm really bad at maths, we've got 597 precision plus 352, what would that be? 5, 6, 7, 849? 849? Something like that. Okay, so it's a massive increase. So that would be my precision when you see me in arenas. Okay, so that's my PvP DPS. I've got all of my tier 4 PvP gear on at the moment. Okay, and I still use, for you, those of you asking, I do use PvE rings for PvP. Okay, I still use my. Okay, so for you tanking guys, let's have a look at the my tanking stuff that I'm doing. Now I haven't respec'd, but I'm spec'd into everything, if that makes sense. So I mean, even if I did kind of spec for tanking, my stats would still be the same because I just spec into everything. So you know, that's that. So let's have a look at the stats. Okay, so health 4,753, power 1,232, defense 4,033, might 1,271. Again, we've got the base stat of 755 restoration and 84 vit. Now if you're a fire tank especially, you want to be starting to spec into your restoration, so your restoration should be a lot higher because you're using your moves to get health, that kind of stuff. Okay, precision 198. Okay, toughness 150, dominance 978, although that should be higher, so what am I missing? Let's have a look. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going crazy. Okay, so that's that. There are my stats. Now, things you need to notice. Okay, you need to know. When you use a power as your earth tank, you will get 25% damage absorption, but not only that, whatever your dominance is, that will get added to your defense. Okay, so again, like I said, I'm not very good at maths. 978 will get added to 4,033, so it's just going to be just over 5,000. It'll be just over 5,000. Let me show you that. So you know, and even though I haven't got any tank powers on, you know, this is just a random loadout. Any power, okay, there's debris field. Press start, and look, there's my defense there, 5,011. Okay, I know where I'm missing my dominance and stuff in my iconics. Okay, so I'll have a tiny little bit more. I'll have an extra 25 dominance here because I'm not spec'd into the iconics, and I'll have an extra 50 defense. Okay, so that'll be that, which will mean I will have a total of 5,111 because your dominance is doubled when you're in tank stance. Okay, so that'd be 50 plus 50, if that makes sense, if you're following me. Okay, so using your powers, so that will be my stats as we go through. Okay, your toughness does increase as well, but like I said, that's nothing to do with PvE. And this is my PvE stats. There you go. Okay, and last but not least, we've got my PvP tank. Okay, now 9 times out of 10, I won't be wearing this gear. I won't be wearing tank gear. I'll be DPS gear. Okay, that's because I normally tank 5s, but the rest of the time 4s. You know, I'll be DPS. When I'm in a 4s group, I prefer rolling with 2 DPSs than a tank and a DPS. That's just me. So even if there's another DPS in the option in the group, I'll just stay DPS. I won't bother respecing to tank and this kind of stuff. But on the odd occasion when I do put my PvP tank set on, I want to make sure I do it properly. So I put everything, even my rings, come on. Okay, just to make it. If you're a tank, you're just there to survive at the end of the day. Okay, you're there to be annoying. You're not gonna kill anyone. Okay, you're just gonna be annoying. Okay, you're gonna just hold nodes, that kind of stuff in PvP. So on that basis, on survival, I have my PvP rings on. Okay, so here's the stats. I've got 6,766 health. Okay, 1,550 power, 238 defense, 1,253 might, base stat, 265 precision, 2,381 toughness, 704 dominance. Okay, and again, your dominance will be added to your toughness, so you'll see that jump up to just over 3,000. Let's have a look. (3,085) toughness when you're using your power, which will be all the time because you'll be using them to survive. Okay, so there it is, guys. Let's take a duel. Let's not. Fight Club Eyes Kazi. So there is all of my gear, guys. Okay, that's the gear I'm using at the moment. It's April 2013, and because it's going to be months down the line, it's like, oh, you've only got tier 4 gear when tier 5's out. Yeah, it's April, mate. Okay, so that's what the gear is at the moment. All of my PvE gear, all of my PvP gear, you know, and look at my inventory, guys. Now it's just rammed with all this kind of stuff, so I like to keep a lot in the bank and stuff to keep it away. So that's why, partly why I'm not tanking so much. Stick it in the bank and forget about it. And it's so much of a hassle to respec and all that kind of stuff with the amount of skill points I've got. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Like, comment and subscribe. Let me know what you think, okay? And yeah, that's it.